Hey, this is a strange video, eh? We did unboxing, and now it's brown. And you probably already know from all of our media outlets that we're building the Samurai on the new Delta chassis, which is turning out to be totally amazing. Just really blowing my mind with how smooth everything's working out. The geometry is incredible. These videos are coming out really late actually because I'm filming while I'm actually building the truck. There's a lot more done here that I'm going to put into little clips in the filming, and so you're getting this stuff all after the fact, and you've already seen all the pictures. The product's already been released, and you know what I mean. So, but I wanted to film this stuff as I was going so that I could have a little bit of a kind of like a documentary on this particular truck build. It's sort of like an on the bench kind of a theme because we did the FJ40 cruiser build on the bench. You know, kind of a live sort of steady streaming kind of different videos one after another of the sequence of events. And I want to kind of talk about some of the things that we're doing with the Samurai. Now this one actually this is just it. I mean, this is the body that we got from JS Scale. It's actually produced, as you've seen from the out of the box video. I just finished actually building this little steel cage for it. The cage work is designed to fit almost stealthy inside the body, so this just literally sits right inside all the contours of the body. Like, you can't even see that it's there. The cage is there. You can barely see it, but it's there. You know, you can see it better like this. So there's actually like inside the door jamb there's actually a lip, and the metalwork just follows that lip all the way through, all the way up top, you know. And there's the cage on the roof line. Like, it's really tucked in tiny, you know. And it supports the window pillars here at the top of the door as well. So that kind of gives you an idea, I guess, of what this truck is really going to be made for. And I'm not sure when the sequence of videos are really going to come out because this truck will be done and driving before the release of the chassis is done. You know, so it's funny to actually see all this backwards. I can hardly wait to actually watch these videos when they actually come out and get released, because so much has been going on behind the scenes here. You guys already know this, but the Delta chassis actually comes where the pre-built ones anyways are going to use this material for the skid plate. This is the Shapeways nylon, versatile nylon print in black, and we had free space on the print. The skid plate is actually this big already, and so we've just added in extra bits onto it here that we're using in the factory built trucks for rear shock mounts. These are the two motor brackets that hold the motor plate onto the chassis. A huge amount of design work has already gone into this truck for my Samurai. You can see here we've got inner fenders already in it. They're amazing. Full sliders. There's that fantastic nylon skid plate that protects the transfer case. And then we've got a rear battery tray gas tank here that's already mounted into the vehicle. I've also finished the design for the complete tunnel cover. So there's a total complete interior cover for it. There's a firewall, so we will finish the engine bay with the 22R. I'll pull this off here so you can get an idea of what it looks like underneath. I'm sure you've all seen this already, but there's a view of the drivetrain. You know, super low profile. The frame sits below the tires, and that's a feature. This is a full functioning truck. And that's a feature that I absolutely demanded on this Delta truck build, was that the tires actually were above the frame. So this is the lowest frame vehicle that we have ever produced. It doesn't look like it's out of proportion. You know, the way that this thing sits right now, it's just, I mean, there's no other truck I don't think on the market that actually sits this low. It's so incredibly flat. And part of that was a demand that the Samurai brought to the table. You can see how low the flat cargo area is in the Samurai body. This is also a very small truck, and we managed to get a complete cage. There's a 100% steel tube cage in the truck already. I mean, full steel tube cage. It's just crazy how much stuff is already in this build. Just blows my mind. So there's the cage work there. There's a complete and total interior in the build. The lighting out here in the half in the middle of the night is just terrible. I'm sorry about that. But there we go. Full complete interior. There's a complete underbody on the truck. You know, full interior in the truck. And full steel cage. It's the way this thing has turned out is just crazy. You already know this, but I'm on the dash. Remounting the dashboard. This was originally intended to be attached to the firewall just below the main windshield. I am changing that, and that's what I'm into tonight. So there's yet another stage of the build. This is actually going to remain in the vehicle when the body comes off. So the body will be removed from the truck, just like so, and the dashboard will remain there with the firewall. I'm doing that for a couple reasons. I want to have the dashboard remain with the firewall so I can use the space in between for all my electronics. Pretty much the same way you do with a full-size truck. In behind the dash, there's usually an incredible cluster of wires back there, and basically I'm going to mimic the same thing. We're going to use that space for the electronics in the vehicle. And you probably, I'm sure already know this, but the battery box here, which is a gas tank, a full functioning fuel cell, is actually the fuel cell in the Samurai build. This right here is a 3D printed drop down gas tank in the back. It also gives me a really nice departure angle without having a body latch on the back. It's really quite nice actually. I like it a lot. It's a very trick angle too. You'll see the front angle is just almost straight up and down. It's just crazy sauce. And our battery will remain in there. And that battery section there is covered by the cargo area in the Samurai. This part here, full cargo bay in the Samurai. You know, so the frame rail sits flat on the bottom of the Samurai, and our battery is sitting underneath it here in a fuel cell that's you know, right here. So lots of room for our 1500 Helios 3-cell batteries. You can use, I think, up to 1 inch thick. I left at least a full inch in that battery box. And then we're about to try a bunch of different 252 millimeter bodies on this Delta small wheelbase chassis, because there's of course there's a bunch of loops models. There's a Tamiya Pajero with the rally fenders on it. We're going to try that on this. Same wheelbase. I'm expecting that the Delta chassis probably will just drop right underneath those, with a lot of the same fitment as a Samurai. And I'm going to move on now to working on some of the rest of the cage finishing, getting the dashboard mounted to the truck. So much of it has been done already. You'll notice here too that I'm using our brand new simple hubs. You know, GCM has been making something called lock hubs for a long time, GCM lock hubs. Well, these are what we call simple hubs. No extra fine detail on them. They're very quick to machine. The price is incredibly cheap. We also made them taller than our standard locking hubs, so you don't need to trim the shaft off of the wheel. They accept a regular 5/16 or 8 millimeter bolt, what I guess you would call that a socket, and no special tools for tightening it. So we're very excited about a lot of the changes that have been made to get this truck on the road, and this is just another segment in that sort of video saga that eventually will be released. So as I build, I'll keep showing you some new information, and thanks for watching. A bit of an exciting update here. I'm working on the Samurai still, and I chopped off some stuff, so I wanted to show you guys kind of what happened. This was surprisingly easy to do and very difficult to convince myself to do. Let's take a look. And yes, I did cut the hood off. So that's fresh. I'm going to slam some hinges in there. This is our GCM 22R motor, detailed by TrueScale. Really Super Scale actually is the guy's name. Super Scale does incredible photography. Kyle, he painted up this motor, did the wiring and stuff on it, and finally we get to use it. There's actually room for a fan and a fan shroud and stuff in there, so that's good. And we'll get the exhaust on it and everything, and it's tight but it fits. Like the hood actually just barely closes on that. There's a little bit of a lip on the hood here, and it does actually shut, which is totally bonkers. You can see that all the stuff is out of the middle here now because it's been freshly painted. I've got the dash here painted. The tube cage is all painted up too. I finally found my grinder and I did all the metal work on it. Dash is painted, console covers painted. The floor pans are getting painted right now. They're in the booth. Actually, you could probably see them from here. There's the two inner fenders and floor pans. They're getting painted right now. And yep, steering wheel's there. So stuff's starting to come together here. Got to spend some time on the hood and getting that going, and be well on my way. I just cut the hood off, so that actually kind of makes me happy, but wow, look at that. It's pretty cool. Gauges are in. It's coming along. Is it on? Okay. Lots happened. I think lots happened because I didn't actually go back and look and see what's already on the video, but I got some paint and decals on it. This is a really cool shot that I wanted to show you guys because it gives you an idea of where the layout is in the truck. You can see there 22Rs in the front there, just above the transmission bell housing. I'm about to take all that stuff apart, and then there's the layout. So that kind of gives you an idea where everything sits in relation to other stuff in the truck. If we kind of do like a side shot here, whoops, and tilt it in, you can see the transfer case is pretty much right underneath the front of your butt kind of thing. Shifters on top of the transmission. Everything's kind of in a pretty legitimate spot actually on the truck. It's really kind of nice. I'm just about to do the bumper designs for this, so that's where I'm at right now. It's pretty late over here at the shop, and I'm just really severely burning midnight oil on this. The hood is hinged, by the way. The hinges are right here. Two little tiny black metal hinges. I hinge the hood forward because it's a comp truck. And I can't tell you how many times I've seen comp trucks out on the trail trying to get over some kind of log, and they're hopping like this, and then the hood opens up and then it falls off or something flies out of it, you know. We've got our Delta here for the Delta chassis, and all the hood magnets are in. The interior is all pretty much done. Got to do some lighting and stuff on it now, and so that's where the Samurai's at. It's definitely turning into a really cute little truck now. Now that the cage is black, you can actually see it. I really don't remember if I put that on a different video or not, but the cage is a solid steel. It's a tube actually. It's all steel, but it's a tube, and 3/16 size of tube. So basically 4.8 millimeters. The tube is screwed into the sliders right there in the corners of the sliders. You can see it on the outside corners. The tube actually screws right into the sliders right here. And very solid. It form fits the body like just incredibly perfect, but that's what you get with custom metal work. Like, I mean, I made it myself, so that's what you get. You get stuff that actually form fits. And all this dirt in here. What else can I say about this? So, battery tray. I cut the floor out of the almond body. I invented this little hook. You see this little hook here that I just 3D printed and glued on, and then I filed it up to actually be really strong. And what it does is actually go into this hole right here when you put it down, and it clips onto the bottom of the frame rail right here. The clip actually comes down below the rail right there. So right now it's kind of sitting on top of the rail, you can see that. And that will hold the battery in to the gas tank battery box right there. So that's the Sammy news. I'm sure I'll post another update here shortly. If you want to see the hood open, it's got very strong magnets. I think I overdid it on the hood magnets, but there's these little vents on the sides of the hood that I can use to pop it off, so that's the only way it comes off. You got to get your fingers in there and actually really rip it off. I kind of overkilled on the magnets. There's a 1/2 inch ring magnet on the hood and then a 1/2 inch flat magnet on the base, and it's scary. Like, it hurts. You don't want to get your finger in there. Alright, more soon. I'm doing wiring today, which is very exciting. So up in this, man, I'll tell you what, all black truck, very hard to see. All of this wiring here is under the dash. So I've got the ESC in here, which is a 1080. My 6-channel receiver for my Fly Sky is in there. And yep, motor wires and stuff goes up underneath the firewall, and the servo wire goes under the firewall there to get into the receiver area, and the servo wire just runs down the inner fender there. I'll probably like put a black sheath or something on it so it doesn't really look like wire, you know what I mean? I have to extend my battery wire. On the 1080 they come with this XT60 connector and quite a long wire, which would actually get to my battery box, except that by the time I put the console cover on and tuck this down inside, it's going to be too short. So I'm going to add about 5 inches of wire into it, and then I'll have lots of extra. And I'm pretty sure this thing's going to run today, which is amazing. And it's quiet. I love it because it's quiet. It's just great. Well, it's finished. So lots has gone on since the last bunch of videos, and I think we'll get it some trail time here, and then we'll call this video a day. Thanks for paying attention to all that craziness there, trying to mix together all these multiple hundreds of hours. I don't know, I'm thinking it was like 120 hours of actual just truck building, and after that it was you know, all the chassis stuff that went in, and building axles, and just regular truck stuff that goes into every truck. But for the most part, anyways, I'm extremely happy with how it turned out. It's got a little bit of craziness there with the front opening hood, and there's a lot of cool stuff going on with this tiny truck. So thanks for watching, and enjoy this little drive-by shooting here that we've got going on in the end of this video, and we'll see you on the next one.